Hovey's Knives of China, The Point. William Hovey Smith, 2016. I'm the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and we cook, and we have designed a new set of cooking knives inspired from ancient patterns. I'm Hovey Smith, the backyard sportsman, and also the owner of a new company, Hovey's Knives of China. Now, I am an author. I've written some 15 books. I also write quite commonly about knives as well as muzzleloading guns. Now, several of my knife articles have been published in these Krause Knife Annuals over the years, and I've also contributed many other articles to other magazines on the subject of knives. Now, in introducing my own knives from my own company, I went back to historical antecedents. And today we're going to talk about the oldest of them all. In fact, knives derived from the Acheulean hand axe. Now, if you don't know about the Acheulean hand axe, I can't say I am surprised. But if you wish to learn more about them, we do have a book, not by me, but by Schick and Toth here, which describe the Acheulean hand axe as found in places like Olduvai Gorge, Africa, as well as all over Europe. And these are some photos of some examples that they've sketched. Now here we have an original. Yeah. This one was recovered from France. So what we did was to use this as an inspiration and design our own version out of modern steel. And this is one variant. There are a couple of others that I'm working on. But this is one, and this is the one we'll illustrate today. And we're going to use this knife to make a new variant of a popular pasta dish. This is whole wheat pasta. Boo, most of you say. Whole wheat pasta is off-tasting compared to regular white pasta, although it is reputedly healthier for us because it does contain more fiber. Yeah. So if you wanted to use whole wheat pasta and you wanted to make it taste good, all right, you need to add some meat to it. So we have here some bologna. We have here some pressed ham. Now you could just take anything and cut up this and throw it in the pasta and have it flavor the pasta. You could do that. But it is much more interesting and inventive to actually cut this in one long, continuous pasta-like strip and put that in your pasta and eat it with either fork or chopsticks. Yeah. And make up your own wasabi sauce using horseradish. The straight horseradish sauce is a little strong to use straight, so you cut it a little bit. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, a lot of my inventive dishes are quite lengthy in preparation time and all this kind of stuff, but this isn't. This is something you can put together after you get back from work and feed your family and not feel absolutely exhausted after you get through with it. Yeah, this goes pretty fast. It looks interesting. And in fact, your kids will enjoy doing the cutting. The first thing we're going to do in our preparation here is to take some of our pasta and put it in a pot and put it on the stove. How much? I've just got me here, so about that much is fine. And some salt. Bloop. Okay. And then we just put this on the stove behind us and we let that proceed to start to cook. So you take your bologna and you just slice off the excess skin here, the casing, and just go ahead and peel that. That comes off very, very neatly, of course, and everybody knows how to do that. Now the real art comes in is in cutting. And what we're going to try to do here is to cut a continuous spiral. Now I am not an artist and do not claim to be. And I am not as skilled at this as some of you are and can be. But that's what we're going to proceed to do, is to cut this material in one continuous strip. Now this is much like you would use a piece of leather, and you all have seen leather thongs, and this is how they're made. Now this bologna, being a processed pressed meat, is pretty good about cutting. You'll see when we get around to the ham that causes more problems, as it is not nearly so uniform a texture. But we're proceeding to get around here, guiding our blade. Now the sharp point on this knife is particularly valuable for this. A few others will do as well. And this blade, by the way, is called the point for obvious reasons, since that's what it mostly is. And it is used exactly for purposes like this. There is a little cutting surface, so you could use it for chopping and trimming if you wished, but this is what its primarily use is. Now many of my knives have truncated points for safety reasons. They're heavy knives, and if they should fall from a table, yeah, they'll go through a boot. So having no points on these knives, we give you a separate point. So if you want to do a little something like this, you can. Okay, now let's see what we have wrought here. So we come around and we unspool like this. There's one pretty good run. No big deal that we didn't happen to make it all the way around, or that it happens to be of absolutely non-uniform thickness. Okay, and there we go. So now these are going to be put in the pasta, and they'll be eaten very much like the spaghetti is, either with chopsticks. And by the way, spaghetti originated in China, by the way, and or with conventional forks. Okay, now we'll do the ham. And you notice in this dish, just one slice of each is all that's required. Now I'll eat, probably 2 meals off this one cookie. Now this is a very efficient way and inexpensive way to use food, even if you must buy it at expensive prices. The pressed ham is a little more difficult to cut because it is not as uniform, as you can see. So this is all you need actually to add to your spaghetti, and you go ahead and cut it in lengths. You can see how much better the bologna handles. Now this is ready to add to the spaghetti. In the meantime, back on the stove, the spaghetti has shrunk down into the pot now and is now being boiled. Now we're going to put together our wasabi sauce. Now, because it has a fancy name, it often has a fancy price. So, wasabi sauce is nothing more than a diluted horseradish sauce. So what we're going to do is take our horseradish sauce here, and this is a very inexpensive one, by the way, and just add regular mayonnaise to it. That is more than enough, and we're going to cut it with about an equal amount of mayonnaise and just thoroughly mix. That's right. We'll add a little pepper. This is a very coarse ground pepper. So there are some lumps of pepper in here, so occasionally you'll get a real bite of pepper, which adds interest to the dish. If not every bite you take is exactly the same. That is a good finished smooth sauce now. We're ready for that. So the next thing we'll do is add our meat to the pasta. And here is the pasta. Now that is getting about right, guys. So we can go ahead at this stage and add the meat. And let it boil. Now what is happening here is that the meat will somewhat flavor the pasta. And also, from a health point of view, it will also allow some of the excess fats in this meat to boil off, and that will remain in the water. So consequently, you are making a low fat dish. We're going to see how we're doing here. I think we're just about ready to take up. You notice the color of the water has changed. It's now a little darker colored. That's because of the fats that are actually coming out of the meats. And we've taken a piece of pasta here, and you can see how flexible it is. I think it's about right. Yeah. That's about how you want it. It's a little chewy between the teeth. You don't want to cook it till it's dead soft. But this is about right. So we can go ahead and take this up and mix it with our sauce and serve it. I'm allowing it to drain as I lift here. So we are putting basically a dry product in the bowl. And now we take our wasabi sauce and add and mix that to the pasta. That's 1 teaspoon now. 2. Looks like 2 teaspoons might be about right. Not going to take much more than that. Now each diner can actually add more, but 2 teaspoons seems to be about fine. Yeah, everything is coated now. Okay. Yep. Now that's ready to serve just as it is. It should be served hot, or surprisingly, if you have excess pasta, as you often do, the thing about wasabi is you can also serve it cold. So now we have a salad. And you may put a few cut up tomatoes on the top when you serve it, or a few peppers. But here you have a wasabi salad on a bed of lettuce for your excess pasta. Now, the nice thing about coating it like this is it doesn't all stick together and agglutinate it when you refrigerate it. So this can be put in the refrigerator and it will hold perfectly well overnight until the next day, just like it is. And here we have our dish. And how did we do? Well, you can eat this in the traditional fashion with chopsticks, or you can use a fork, of course. But we'll do it with chopsticks. Now this is good and interesting. It has some bite and flavor, and it's certainly a break from the typical tomato sauce that one puts on pasta. Yeah, and it also makes this whole wheat pasta much more edible than ordinarily. Now, this is fine, folks. Yeah. Now all this has been put together in a period of about, well, less than 15 minutes from start to finish, including cutting out of the meat. So this is certainly something inexpensive. Anybody can put together. Any student can do it at college. If you can afford a package of bologna or ham or whatever, you know, you can do something like this and make an interesting meal that not everyone has seen before, that doesn't cost an arm and a leg to put together. So this is a good practical product. And it's done with my point here, which has as its ancient antecedents this Acheulean hand axe, who has its origins going back even further to Olduvai Gorge and the very earliest predecessors of man. Our Neanderthal ancestors, for example, were unexcelled in making really beautiful hand axes. And these are priced at thousands of dollars each. Yeah. These out of Chert from France, not nearly so expensive. At Hovey's Knives of China, we enjoy bringing back these ancient patterns and restoring them to modern and practical use in today's kitchens by today's cooks and chefs. For more information about these knives, I have other videos out. I have a blog, Hovey's Knives of China, and I will be at the Blade Show at the Cobb Galleria in Atlanta on June the 3rd through the 5th. And I'll have these knives on display. And interestingly enough, for those of you who actually want to make knives or try your hand at it, I'll have some blanks out of T410 steel. Now this is a stainless steel, unlike the carbon steel that this blade is made of. And that stainless steel will need to be ground, handled, and heat treated with hot oil to get and retain a proper temper. So you can have a chance to try to make your own of these. I also license production of these to companies and individual makers who wish to produce them under my trademark and name. And for more information about this, you can contact me at the address which follows. For now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. I have recipes and chapters about knives in all of my books, including backyard deer hunting, crossbow hunting, practical bow fishing, and a few more advanced recipes even in extreme muzzleloading. I also have a set of e-books on muzzleloading guns, including shooting and maintaining your muzzleloader and hunting big and small game with muzzleloading pistols. I have a new series of business books under the Profit brand. These include ideas for new businesses, finding ideas for your $1 million or $1 billion business, and here's a little blurb about me and about the book. Making Silent Stones Speak by Schick and Tooth is published by Simon & Schuster. For more information on my outdoor books, blogs, and more than 500 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.